This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
Oh yes, another jam-packed episode of Ag News and Events, something we will get to here in a second, but first, formal introductions. Ray DeLessio at your service.
And I'm Kenny Bergamy. Here's just a sample of what you're going to see on this week's show. First on the docket, a bipartisan bill to protect agricultural land in Georgia. We'll dive deeper into the Senate Bill 220 and its impact on the farming industry. Also on the program, part 2 of our conversation with Georgia Ag Commissioner Tyler Harper, who shares his priorities for the industry. Plus, get ready for the thrill of a lifetime. We're taking you to Athens for what many call the greatest show on dirt. Sure, it looks like your typical rodeo, but it's not. See what puts this one in a class all by itself. These stories and so much more start right now on the Farm Monitor.
Well, Georgia's 40-day legislative session is now come and gone, and it did so with several bills passing through both chambers that are geared towards benefiting the ag industry. One such bill, SB 220. Our John Holcomb breaks it down for us.
In the last few decades, the state of Georgia has seen rapid growth, but that growth has come at a cost. That cost? Land that was once used to produce food, fiber, and shelter. In fact, since the 70s, Georgia has seen a 20% reduction in land that was once used for farming. However, as a result of this year's legislative session, legislators have passed a measure to combat the issue, Senate Bill 220, or the Farmland Conservation Act, a policy recommendation from Commissioner Harper's office that creates a fund to help protect the state's farmland by allowing agricultural landowners to give up all or some of their development rights to a conservation trust or similar entity.
The Georgia Farmland Conservation Fund is a fund that would be established under the Department of Agriculture that will allow farmers to participate in conservation easements. This is not new. It's something that's been done in 29 other states around the country. So it's not a new idea. It's something that we're building off of what other states have done. But it gives us an opportunity to allow family farms and producers across this state, if they so choose, to put their farms in a conservation easement to protect their production ag land for generations to come.
As Harper stated, this measure is nothing new, as Georgia is now the 30th state to create such a fund, which according to Senator Russ Goodman, the lead sponsor of the bill, has been very successful, as he says millions of acres across the country have been protected due to measures like this one.
Through these programs, we've been able to protect about 3.2 million acres across the country. And for instance, in the state of Florida, they've protected 58,000 acres of land, I believe it is. In North Carolina, it's 28,000 acres. But there's a federal match that comes down from the federal government for this. It's a dollar-for-dollar match for any private money, any state money, any local money that goes into it.
According to Goodman, Harper, and others alike, preserving farmland not only is crucial for the future of our farmers, but it's also a vital part of our national security.
Food security is an essential element in national security. You can't grow crops and you can't grow food without land, right? And so that's what the purpose of this bill is to try to protect farmland in perpetuity. And you think about what the implications are for, like I say, generations down the line. That's the intent of the bill. And so it's important to me that years and generations down the line that we have the ability to feed ourselves.
Agricultural land is a very vital part of the ag sector. Without land, we can't produce the crops and the livestock that we need to help ensure that we're providing a safe, secure food supply and that we have the food, the fiber, and the shelter we need right here at home without relying on foreign sources to do that for us. And it makes us more independent when it comes to our food supply chain, our fiber supply chain, and our shelter supply chain right here in the state of Georgia. And protecting Georgia families and Georgia farms and Georgia producers is vital. But at the same time, by doing that, we're able to ensure that consumers are protected across the state as well, because they can rest assured that we continue to have a safe, secure food supply on those grocery store shelves all across the state.
Reporting in Atlanta for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
In other ag news, as Congress begins work on this year's farm bill, U.S. Senator John Ossoff has made a conscious effort to meet with farmers and growers from various ag industries in Georgia. Here he is visiting with blueberry growers to learn about the challenges they face during processing. During his visit, Senator Ossoff inspected a blueberry packing shed and held a roundtable with producers as part of his support for the state's growing blueberry industry.
Well, talk about your momentous occasions. What you're looking at is the new Tom McCall Agricultural Science Complex that is now up and running on the campus of Athens Technical College in Elberton. The building was named in honor of Georgia Farm Bureau President Tom McCall, who has supported the college for over 35 years, along with his unwavering commitment to technical and agricultural education.
The technical college system is the best thing I think Georgia has going as far as educating the workforce on jobs that are needed. You know, they teach truck driving, welding, diesel mechanics, industrial system, and a whole host of other things on this particular campus in coordination with the big campus in Athens, which is probably 35 miles away. So this is the prettiest technical college campus in the state.
The University of Georgia's Horticulture Club held its annual plant sale recently, with the proceeds going towards scholarships and educational opportunities for its members. While some of the trees, shrubs, and plants were sourced by local vendors, more than half were grown right on campus. It's no secret the average age of farmers around the country is approaching 60, which means getting the younger generation involved is more important than ever. Easier said than done when you consider the prohibitive cost of starting up an operation. But as Damon Jones reports, the FSA has designed a number of programs to help with those costs.
With less than 2% of the population involved with production agriculture, attracting a younger demographic to the industry is vital for food security, especially with a third of farmers being 65 or older. And that's one of the main goals for FSA, who recently held this meeting in Athens to encourage farmers new to the business.
You know, our food and food security is of vital importance. And this meeting today is we're having the new and beginning farmers come in, and we're going to try to give them a helping hand to lift them up, and so that they'll be able to produce and develop a program you know, to help us in the future to provide safe and secure food for the nation.
But that security doesn't come cheap, as the cost to start up a new farming operation is the #1 obstacle young producers must overcome.
I would say the biggest hurdle they have to face is the availability of credit. It is very, very expensive to break into agriculture and farming, whether it's aquaponics, whether it's a small niche market of whatever, and that is a big hurdle. But the availability of credit, being able to get started and not be such a burden and be able to work with them, I think is the key to bringing in the new and beginning farmers.
And that is exactly what the Farm Service Agency is looking to accomplish with a variety of low-interest loans that is sure to satisfy each farmer's need, no matter how big or small.
We have direct loans and we have guaranteed loans. And the direct loans are administered by FSA itself, and they go up to $600,000 for an operating for a farm ownership loan, $400,000 for a operating loan, which can be a term loan, which can be turned out up to 7 years. We have a microloan for people who have very limited experience that are coming in as new, that goes up to $50,000.
And the good news is that taking advantage of these programs is now easier than ever, as getting information and filling out applications can now be done in a much shorter amount of time.
I know, and I'm excited, especially on the farm loan side, with some of the new tools that are coming out that are geared towards our younger farmers, that makes it easier for them to apply for a loan. We got a new loan application tool, we've got a shortened application process, but it's very important that we begin to bring in a new generation of farmers, because we're seeing some of the farmland move out of the traditional older farmers' hands.
Reporting from Clark County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
After the break, it's part 2 of our conversation with newly elected Commissioner of Agriculture, Tyler Harper. his thoughts on the current state of Georgia ag as a whole, and what he said are the top priorities on his radar.
As we all know, agriculture has long been a vital part of Georgia's economy, while at the same time employing a large portion of its population. In part two of our conversation with Georgia Ag Commissioner Tyler Harper, we take a closer look at the current state of the industry and explore some of the priorities Commissioner Harper feels need to be addressed sooner rather than later.
You've been on the job now a few months. What needs to be fixed with Georgia agriculture? Does anything need to be fixed? What are some of the top priorities that you see early on, some early impressions?
Look, I think we're in a really good spot in our ag industry. I think we've seen a lot of success in Georgia agriculture, and we have a lot of opportunity at the same time. We also have our challenges, whether that's H2A or labor or WOTUS or federal policy or its input cost or its diesel prices, feed, seed, fertilizer prices. Inflation has been a big issue in agriculture, and the costs that we've seen at the farm level that I see right here on my farm every single day. You know, those have been big issues that we've been dealing with in agriculture. We've got to find a way to help address those. And at the end of the day, it's about bridging that divide between the farm and the fork. The closer we get that bridge back to the farm, the more successful our ag industry and our farmers and producers can be. And our Georgia Grown program that's been so successful at the department, Commissioner Black spent a lot of time in building that up. That's given us an opportunity to help bridge that divide and bridge that gap. But we've got to get more of that retail dollar back to the family farm for us to continue to ensure that our ag industry is successful. And there are a lot of challenges, but at the same time, there are significant opportunities. And you know, being the Commissioner of Agriculture now, I get to lead a phenomenal team of about 550 dedicated employees that are dedicated to ensuring our #1 industry is successful, that farmers and producers have the resources they need to be successful, that our consumers understand that the need for our #1 industry, and they can rest assured in knowing that they're protected every single day from the issues that they may be faced with, that we're instructed and required to oversee through the Department of Agriculture. But you know, I think we have a tremendous opportunity ensuring that we bridge that divide and building on that and that space where we can ensure that agriculture continues to be successful. And I look forward to working with the governor and my colleagues in the General Assembly and our ag industry across this state to help do that. And I think we have some opportunities to make that happen.
I wish we could play this back so you could see your face when you were talking about Ocilla. Rich agricultural history down here, Commissioner. You're very proud. Your face was gleaming when you were talking about Ocilla. What do you want people to know about your hometown? What else should they know about Ocilla?
Look, I think Irwin County, Ocilla is a phenomenal farming community. It's been an agricultural community for a long time, and the folks here are just like any other folks across the state. They're salt of the earth, down to earth, rural Georgia. It's where the rubber meets the road kind of place, and it's a place that I'm proud to call home. Like we talked about a minute ago, this farm where I grew up, I'm proud to call it home. This dirt road that I played in as a little boy.
Good fishing out here.
Yeah, go fishing in that pond.
I mean,
That's right. Yeah.
There, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have a lot of opportunity as a little boy growing up, whether it was hunting or fishing or being involved on the farm, or having my own little farm, dreaming that one day that I would have and operate my own operation, which I do now. So those little toy tractors turned into big tractors. By the way,
you got a bunch of farms throughout Georgia that you're in charge of.
That's right. That's right. I do. Now as commissioner, I have a lot of ag that I'm in charge of. So, you know, and that's the thing is you never think in this little community that is remarkable. You know, we're a small little 2 red light town, small town, rural Georgia. I'm committed to ensuring that agriculture continues to be the backbone of our economy, and that every Georgian has the ability to live out their life and have the best state to live, work, worship, and raise their family. And at the end of the day, that all those young men and women out there that are trying to figure out what they want to do, that they have their ability to live their version of the American dream, just like I have. right here growing up on this farm, and that regardless of where you come from, even if it is growing up on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, that you can do anything in life if you set your mind to it. And that's the opportunity I've had growing up here on this family farm. My family obviously has always encouraged me, and I'm just honored to be here. I'm honored to be the commissioner, and I look forward to the work that we're going to do together, not only with Farm Bureau and President McCall and the relationship we have, but also with all of agriculture across this state, and ensuring that, that we continue to allow it to be successful.
Good insight, Ray. Great job by Commissioner Harper breaking everything down for us. Well, saddle up and get ready for an inside look at what many refer to as the greatest show on dirt. Up next, we head to Athens for the largest student-run rodeo in the nation.
My name is Raymond Joyce. I'm a county extension agent here in Lawrence County with the UGA Extension. Today we are going to look at how to plant strawberries. This is a strawberry plant. One of the things you need for strawberries is that you need a full sun location. This basically is a livestock water trough that you can buy at a local hardware store or farm supply dealer. Your container needs to have holes in the bottom so it will drain. Get a good potting soil mix that is well drained. We're not really going to use a lot of this soil here, but for a strawberry plant, you can see how the roots are growing here in this container. That is where the plant gets its water. And one unique thing about a strawberry plant is that they have what we call a crown. Make sure that you do not cover up this crown of the plant, because if you do, it can rot on you and the plant will die or either not perform as well. You want to take your trowel and dig a hole about 5-6 inches deep, and then take and place the plant in, and then take and push the soil back up against there, making sure that we don't cover up that crown. We leave that above the soil surface, and then we lightly press it in and get it nice and firm so we don't have any air pockets.
What are these white parts in it?
That is what we call perlite, something to make it so that the water will drain out easier. This whole container that we got here can be completely filled with strawberry plants. Get your ruler. They need to be about 12 inches apart. You go from the center of one plant to the center of the next plant and keep them about 1 foot apart. That way they'll have enough room to grow and expand. Once we get all the strawberry plants planted, then we can come back and water it in and use a soft stream of water.
How much water do we put on the strawberry plant?
Today we're going to put about 1 cup on each plant. And eventually you'll start seeing the white flowers form, and those flowers will attract honeybees. You'll see the honeybees come in, and from there you'll start to see a baby strawberry form, and eventually that strawberry will continue to grow. Now, many times people for the first year will actually remove all the flowers off the strawberries for the first year to allow that plant to really grow and get strong and big. And then the following year, when they bloom and produce strawberries, you can harvest those and eat them. Great way to have something that kids, adults, everybody can be involved in planting strawberries.
Last but certainly not least, we shine the spotlight on a truly unique event billed as the largest student-run rodeo in the nation.
Yes, hosted and organized by the UGA Block and Bridle Club. Its official name, the Great Southland Stampede Rodeo. And with the 48th edition now in the books, it's once again being called a huge success, drawing in thousands of spectators from all over Georgia, as well as competitors from across the country.
So in 1970, the UGA Block and Bridle Club, some members were on the livestock judging team and needed money to travel across the country to compete. So they had the idea of starting a rodeo as a fundraiser and used their washers and dryers and trucks as collateral and signing on for this large event that it turned out to be. And in 1974, the first Great Southland Stampede Rodeo was hosted in Stegman Coliseum. So they removed the basketball court and put in 10 inches of dirt for the rodeo weekend, and it stayed there for 29 years. And then after that, it moved around to a couple different parks and places, but Block and Brattle worked hard to bring it back to campus. So since 2004, we've been here at the UGA Livestock Instructional Arena.
The students involved in organizing and running the Great Southland Stampede Rodeo are a shining example of why this event is sold out night after night. Their dedication, hard work, and passion for the sport of rodeo is evident in every aspect of the event. From the exhilarating bull riding to the fast-paced barrel racing, the Great Southland Stampede Rodeo showcases the best of the best in rodeo. And with the help of the students running the show, this event has become a true highlight of the rodeo calendar.
I've been thinking about this rodeo since August. Like, I haven't had a life. None of us have had a life. Like, we've all been, anytime we see each other, we're just like, how's like rodeo? Talking about rodeo, but knowing how much people love this has just made things great. I don't know, it's made it worth it.
Braylon Smallwood, a senior from Lincolnton, Georgia, brought with her a unique perspective to this year's rodeo. In addition to serving as chairperson, Braylon is a rodeo veteran and competitive barrel racer. Long before she became a student at UGA, Braylon heard stories of the Great Southland Stampede Rodeo and hoped someday she could not only see it in person, but maybe even compete in it. Well, eventually, she did. An experience that some would argue made her the perfect chair. And Braylon will be the first to admit her role became somewhat of an obsession.
Because I have competed, I'm like, okay, what's gonna make this better for spectators as well as contestants? Because I've been to some rodeos that it's like, I don't wanna compete there again. And so, yes, there's like an obsession, I guess, in a good way.
It's amazing to me the amount of people that come out that were a part of the GSSR 20, 30 years ago that have kids now, and maybe that's how they met their spouse, was working with Block and Brattle on the rodeo. So some really cool stories come from it. So it's really an honor to be a part of it the way that we are and be able to carry that tradition on and just see it grow bigger each year.
Ah, but there's that word, growth. Because of its tradition and uniqueness in that it's organized entirely by students, the Great Southland Stampede Rodeo continues to grow in popularity. On the morning our camera was there, the arena was packed full of local school children, about 1,200 total. All 3 nights sold out. Yes, a good problem to have, but challenging when the demand outnumbers the amount of people the local fire marshal will allow.
We definitely, because last year we sold out all 3 nights. This year we sold out all 3 nights, but even quicker. We had discussed having 4 different performances. So having a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday daytime, and a Saturday night. I imagine in order to accommodate more people, we're gonna have to do that in the future, have more performances, maybe extend it to a Sunday, just because I know we've had to turn so many people away.
It could be bigger if we could find somewhere else that could host this big of an event. We could definitely expand to have more attendees, but we also have the love and value for being on campus in UGA's Livestock Arena, so I think we'll stay here for the sense of being connected to UGA, but there's always ways to expand and ways it could be bigger, but it's been successful either way.
My suggestion, and I know it's hallowed ground, Sanford Stadium. How cool would that be?
Oh, wow, he said it, I didn't. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor.
Stay safe and have a great week.